What is up YouTube, it's your boy here, the Hooded Weeaboo, back again with a new video. Today I'm proud to announce this very exciting video topic for you. We are going to be finding out how powerful Vasto Lorde Ichigo is. First we need to get an estimate of how fast Vasto Lorde Ichigo is. We are going to be going down a similar route to my Naruto vs Ichigo video. If you have not watched it, I recommend you check it out. The link will definitely be in the description and maybe on screen if I can figure out how you do that. I'm so professional, aren't I? I will use the Bleach data book as a reference point to my calculations. It stated when Ichigo was in Bankai form versus Byakuya that Ichigo moves like lightning. I might have overestimated Ichigo's speed in my initial video while scaling, as I gave him the return stroke of lightning, which is 220 million miles per hour. While re-evaluating my previous calcs and taking other people's opinions into consideration who were doing similar scaling, I decided that giving him the return stroke might have been a massive highball on my part. So now you ask, how do I come up with a new baseline figure? The answer is quite simple actually. I will dismiss the sound of thunder which travels about 1100 feet per second, or about 750 miles per hour, as we know it would not be possible to pull off some of the feats he demonstrated in his Byakuya fight, for example cutting all Byakuya's blades in a split second. So the most logical answer would be the step leader, which is the first part of the strike process, which travels at speeds of an astonishing 220,000 miles per hour. So now that we know Soul Society Ichigo is 220,000 miles per hour, and now we have to add on his power augmentation boost from Ichigo's Hollow Mask, we know this is a 5 to 10 times boost at least, as is similar to an Espada's Resurrection, and we know Ichigo's mask is similar, as Halibel herself said that when Ichigo was fighting Grimmjow that both were like Espadas fighting each other. To go into more detail, she basically said, and also I will show scans as proof. Before I actually go into detail of the manga chapter itself, I know some people might disagree with the translations I'm showing as evidence, as different manga sites have different variations of translations. As I've been speaking, I've displayed 3 different translations of the scans I'm presenting as proof from different popular manga sites. For the same Bleach manga page chapter, I'm just reading from this certain chapter scans, as a friend of mine told me it's pretty accurate to the real thing, as I don't personally own the Bleach volumes I needed for this video. In the end, they might be worded differently, but they ultimately lead down the same path, and are more than enough proof to get my point across. Basically, she goes on to say, I don't blame you for being frightened, to the other Rancors surrounding her, obviously referring to Grimmjow. She then proceeds to say, but is his opponent really a human, referring to Ichigo while he was wearing his Hollow Mask. She then goes on to say the volume and intensity of his spirit energy. Not to mention its sinister quality aren't those of a human, it's more like 2 Espadas fighting each other. Now keep in mind she didn't just say Hollow or Rancor, she said Espada, which clearly implies Ichigo using his Hollow Mask is similar to an Espada's Resurrection. This is also backed up with more solid information by Ukiura, as when he was fighting Ichigo with his mask on, he says, what was that? That's spiritual, that mask. He's like one of us. So since we have always give Ichigo the benefit of the doubt with the Bankai multiplier, as he's always been the exception of the rules, it's only fair that we give him the full 10 times boost with the mask on, as an Espada's release is the equivalent to a Shinigami's Bankai. It's only fair to assume the Hollow Mask is similar to that, and he should get the full 10 times boost. Before I continue, it's important to clear one misconception. This is not a set variable multiplier. Keep in mind I'm using Ichigo's final version of the mask. It would be quite difficult to scale through all the improvements or power-ups from his countless battles, as the impact of the mask on him has changed or increased his power overall as it improved and grew stronger. So the mask could and probably is a higher multiplier. I just think it's a fair assumption to compare it to an Espada's release. Also, the previous scans all paint a similar picture to what I'm thinking. So it's very possible the mask could even be a higher multiplier if you want to stretch it, but I believe with the evidence I have proven and the scaling I've used, 10 times is a fair and just number. So with the mask, Ichigo's speed goes up to 2.2 million miles per hour. Okay, in all realistic terms, Ichigo is stronger, or if you want to be stingy about it, at least slightly more powerful than Ukiura's base Invisor Bankai, as he tanked this arrow with no damage whatsoever and was just basically pushing Ukiura back. But for simplicity reasons, I'm going to just give a lowball estimate and compare Ukiura's base to Ichigo's Visor Bankai state. This in turn is no doubt a lowball, and a big one at that, so it's fair to assume I'm definitely not wanking Ichigo off. So now that we have a starting figure for Ukiura, we have to give him his multipliers. So his first release should be at 10 times, as it's equivalent to a Bankai, so that puts him up to 22 million miles per hour. Now we take into account his second release, which should be another 10 times. That puts Ukiura up to 220 million miles per hour. Vasto Lorde Ichigo was casually overpowering Ukiura in his second release, so he should be at least twice as powerful. So if we give him the 2-time multiplier, that scales him to 440 million miles per hour. If you thought Vasto Lorde Ichigo's speed was impressive now, just wait, as in theory he is quite more frighteningly strong. as I will go on to prove. In a conversation between Unohana and Ichigo on their way to fight Aizen, she said in terms of spiritual energy, Ichigo is about a captain level. Ichigo goes on to say, I could have done better if my spirit energy had been fully restored. Ichigo continues to explain, look at this, you see how my jacket only has the right sleeve? My Bankai alters. Now I apologise in advance for how I'm probably going to butcher this word. My Shinhakushu too. It seems my Bankai includes this altered Shinhakushu. In fact, my Shinhakushu was only partially repaired when Orihime healed me earlier. Okay, I'm skipping on a bit. Basically, the gist of the part I skipped over is that Orihime can heal physical wounds pretty quick, but it takes her longer to heal spiritual energy. Now, Ichigo says in the part I'm reading on from, but I was in a hurry because Rukia and others were getting beaten up below, so I went to fight without my full spirit energy. That's why I seem so weak right now. And Unohana then goes on to say, but if it were fully restored, then says, less than half of that Shinhakushu remains. So then she realises and says he only has half his spirit energy right now. This is obviously implying, since his clothes are tore up and only half remain, that the half that remains is representing how much spiritual energy he has at that current time. This is enough evidence to prove my point that since Vasto Lorde Ichigo only had half or even less than half his Shinhakushu remaining when he was fighting Ukiura, proving he was gravely weakened compared to what his true strength might be. So basically, to make it easier to understand, think of Ichigo's Bankai Shinhakushu, clothes he wears basically, as an indicator or a ratio meter. So since Vasto Lorde Ichigo only had less than half his clothing, proves he was at half strength. So if we give him the 2-time multiplier, this will allow him to achieve a theoretical peak which clocks out around 880 million miles per hour. The speed of light is 670 million miles per hour. Ichigo in Vasto Lorde form is around 24% faster than that. So in the speed category of the video, Ichigo in Vasto Lorde is faster than the speed of light. Now onto the exciting section of the video, Vasto Lorde Ichigo's destructive capabilities. We know when an Espada 4 or lower unleashes the release of their sword, the Resurrection, it can destroy Las Noches, and instead of using my own personal calculations for this, as I scale Las Noches to be quite bigger than the calcs I'm going to use, and over the size I'll probably get hit, so I will use screw attacks calculations from their unbiased, totally unbiased, Naruto vs Ichigo Death Battle video as a baseline. Screw attack scale Las Noches to be 217,500 square miles to be exact. We know Ukiura can destroy Las Noches in his first release, so we multiply the size they came to by 10 by factoring in his second release, which puts Ukiura's destructive capability up to the range of destroying a landmass of 2.1 million square miles, which is comparable in size to roughly nearly 2 India-sized countries, as India is only 1.2 million square miles in size. So here's a rough image I put together of nearly 2 Indias in size in comparison to the United States and Canada. Keep in mind you can't really take into consideration the exact scope, as the destruction looks significantly bigger on the United States in terms of visual, because you can't see Alaska in comparison. I would have tried to give you a better perspective, but I suck at image editing, and I'm still fairly new to the concept. Hopefully I will get better in time. So blue obviously represents the destructive capability of just Ukiura, who is inferior to Vasto Lorde Ichigo. So if Ukiura uses his attack known as Lanza del Relampaco on the United States or any other country approximately similar or smaller in size, it's fair to assume there wouldn't be much left over, and especially any small countries, there wouldn't be any trace left of them, none whatsoever. It'd probably go somewhat like this. Now it's finally time for what you've been waiting for, to find out what exactly Vasto Lorde Ichigo is capable of doing. We know from the previous calculations I used for his speed that Vasto Lorde Ichigo is twice as strong as Ukiura minimum, because he was casually knocking him around the place with ease. So now we use the 2-time multiplier on top of our previous final figure for Ukiura, which will give us a number of 4.3 million square miles. And next we add another 2-time multiplier as Vasto Lorde Ichigo's clothing was ripped at least half if not more. So in theory a full powered Vasto Lorde Ichigo could technically destroy an area the size of 8.6 million square miles. Now let me put that into a better perspective and compare it. Canada is 3.8 million square miles and the USA is 3.7 million square miles. So Ichigo can destroy either the USA or Canada 2 times and some over, and even both at the same time if he wanted to. Therefore in the destruction category, Vasto Lorde Ichigo's attack potency is relative to continental, or you could even push it and say borderline large continental, as his attack potency could wipe away South America completely, which is 6.8 million square miles, and could destroy up to 93% of the entire landmass in North America, but for a conservative number I'm going to keep it at just continental. So to sum up the video's conclusion, Vasto Lorde Ichigo in terms of speed is FTL, faster than the speed of light, and to be exact he is 24% faster than the speed of light. On the attack or destruction potency side of things he is continental. So guys, there you have it. There's simply just no way of ignoring the fact that Vasto Lorde Ichigo is an absolute monster, and would stomp a lot of anime verses. Now guys, like all great things, they must come to an end, and so does this video. Before I end it, I just want to apologise for why this video took so long to release. Simply the editing was a pain in the ass. I also want to let you know, if you haven't checked out my Discord server, it will be in the description below. If you love Bleach, debates and anime in general, it's a perfect place to hang out. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to a couple of friends. The first to a guy who goes by the name Ugly Barnacle, as he helped me with finding the scan site I used for my main translations in this video. Also, you see this badass background photo. I want to give a shout out to a guy known as Sasuke. Even though I'm not 100% sure who the original creator is, Sasuke did a great job at vamping it up and bringing it to life. So guys, if you enjoyed the content, give it a thumbs up. Please guys, I put a shit ton of work into this video, and a thumbs up would be massively appreciated. Also, leave what version of Ichigo you would like me to scale next time in the comments. Please subscribe, it's totally free and allows you to stay tuned for future projects. And as always guys, peace.